We are here unadvised on the Sports Analyst YouTube, Facebook, our very own X account as well at Unadvised Pod. Preston, Poole, Tyler Adams, our now contributor, Matt Ravis. He begged and pleaded to be called our contributor, so he is here at Thunder Media Day, post Media Day. Ravis has talked to a few Thunder players. T-Bag and I have been roaming around the grounds here of Paycom Center, shooting video and stuff. That'll be out on socials as well. We'll put a little video together as well too, kind of behind the scenes. But Matt, I mean, it's kind of a easy layup question, but did you learn anything today at Media Day?
You know, I asked a lot of non-basketball questions today. I didn't really mean to, but you only have so much time allotted, and you get to where kind of the conversation goes. But I know it's been such a whirlwind summer because it is a quick turnaround. Some guys prefer that. I think actually most guys at this point in time, in their 20s, would rather turn around like that. Now in their 30s, I don't know if they'll feel the same way. But the biggest thing I learned, I think, is first of all, I think there's a very business-like mentality for this team. Not that we learned that, but in terms of the frame of this season where you're coming off of, okay, now we hit the ceiling. How do we break through that ceiling? And winning a second championship is even harder than winning the first one. I wanted to see if there was any complacency or any amount of sitting on our laurels. And it was really guys actively guarding against that. Like Curtis told us Caruso didn't even want to talk about his own wedding. His own wedding! I mean, that's how much of a business day this is. So I don't know if it's not unsurprising, but that was what I wanted to know coming in here.
Yeah, I mean, me and Preston noticed when we're walking around in kind of, I guess, where the court would be, where they have all the stations out there. Just number one, just how much the genuine love and care that they all have for each other and how they just mess with each other was genuine. And secondly, there was like a big business-like approach whenever they come over and, it was time to put on the microphones and time to do, the quote PR stuff, which is Thunder through and through of the way whenever you come to things like these, it is just Thunder through and through. But whenever they came over here today, J-Dub, for me, for example, stood out. And so where do you think J-Dub's game is going to progress through this season coming off that wrist injury? I know you guys asked him about it, playing through it in the playoffs. But his interview to me just kind of stood out. And J-Dub, again, like Preston said earlier, it's kind of like the easy route, the easy way out in this one. But he's a player to me where you look at, it's like, this guy's going to make the jump this year.
That like there could be some rust in terms of his shot making, and there was a level of inconsistency with the shot making last year, but he still found a way to be effective. And think about all the things that he was asked to do, having to guard fives, having to play point, having to do anything in between the two. So there's so much versatility there already. Preston, when he was asked about that, said, I know he can't shoot with his right hand, but you'd be surprised of all the other things he's worked on during the offseason. So, he's an all-NBA player. That means you're legitimately one of the 15 to 20 to 25 best players in the NBA, depending on the injury situation. He was just voted by ESPN as, the 11th best player in the league. So, needs to live up to that. I just think there's such a floor to his game. And every time I try to put a ceiling on it, he smashes through it. So, I'm not going to try to sit here and do that today. I just think efficiency will be the big thing with him. Shot quality, if he can create shots for others, playmaking, I think that's something that can help everybody. So there's no reason to think that he's just going to not take a step, because it seems like everybody takes a step.
Yeah. Well, and even talking about ceilings, you think that, Dub's ceiling is here and he goes beyond that, right? I mean, Shea has done that as well, right? Yeah. I mean, he just keeps getting better and better and better. Who do you think on this team, not who needs to, who do you think on this team will take that next step? Could it be a Chet who has really only played, a season and a half or something like that in his 3 years in the NBA? Is there a player to you on this team that you think is going to take that next step and be an even more of a contributor this year for the Thunder?
Chet's barely scratching the surface. As long as he can stay healthy. I mean, I don't think, guys, that he was moving as well as he could. He was not moving the way he was pre-injury in the NBA Finals, but still found a way to contribute. I look at a guy like Cason Wallace, who I think's ball skills and guard skills are burgeoning. But again, with him, there's such a high floor. Like a guy like Cason Wallace, want to see the young guys continue to get better on this squad. He's got such a good mix of veterans and young talent as well. So that's the thing, is there's still so much internal improvement that can happen. And if those are the two guys I look at the most.
Now, is there a guy that you think needs to step up and play a bigger role this year?
it seems like the roles are super well delineated.
Yeah. And it's hard saying this coming off about a team that just won the title.
No, that's the crazy thing about this team is you're like, oh, I just if that guy doesn't play well, then the whole season is off kilter. It's like that's the thing is there's really not that one guy. Like even if Shea were to knock on wood, let's just say hypothetically he misses some time, a stretch of 10 games. Does anybody think that they're going to go like 3-7 in those games or anything like that? Like they're probably going to be over 500 depending on what the schedule would be like. So that's the good thing is I don't think, not to dodge your question, but I think that nobody on this team feels like I need to hit this statistical measure to be in the NBA next year or to be on this team next year. It's like everybody's kind of got their contracts now. Dub and Chet got those. Jay Will just got rewarded with one as well. So that's the consistency and the continuity that you can bring forward. I don't really know another situation that can say that they're doing that well in that regard.
Shea last year 2 years ago, when he was asked just about kind of the role players in this team, he called them cockroaches and hyenas. And I know on the Morning Animals, we love that clip. We play it. I mean, we play that, into the ground, the cockroaches and hyenas. And when they're out there doing the photos earlier, our guy that we know with the Thunder was like, hey, roaches, get in there for the picture. And they knew exactly who to get out there. So in the photo, it was Jay Will, Wiggins, Dort, Caruso, Hartenstein, and Isaiah Joe. Just for those that because you know basketball like through and through, the X's and O's, you know the deep breakdown. Just explain to everyone listening right now, like just what those guys mean, because you just talked about like you can have some guy, you can have a J-Dub take a night off for a Shea, and you can still have just all these guys that can come in and contribute to winning basketball. So like, tell someone that just doesn't know the ins and outs of basketball just what those guys mean.
Well, first of all, just the fact that they are like, it doesn't really sound like a good thing to be a cockroach or a hyena for that matter. Like that's not really a favorable animal to be compared to. Honestly, they're kind of like ugly animals. They're kind of like ones that you don't really think of as being glamorous or anything like that. Like just the fact that is a desirable thing to them, I think speaks to the lack of egos on this team. Not to say that nobody has an ego, because you have to have some confidence, but I think it speaks to the lack of agendas there. So there's just seems like there's no agenda is really how I would answer that question.
Also, Jay Will's lost a bunch of weight for the better.
He was about 7-8 pounds heavier last year.
For sure.
I was interested to get a look at Hartenstein. He weighed in at like 270, or it wasn't quite that high, but he was like 255 last year. He was up over 270. So I don't know if that was muscle or what the deal was, but because you think about the off season and what was even your level of like, when did you have time to do anything? Much less like hang out with your family, because I'm sure you want to see them in the off season. So there's that's what training camp can be for. Training camp can help you get into shape and all that. So
did anyone impress you today at media day?
Jay Will is always super impressive. It's the same guys I've always been impressed with though. Chet Holmgren was was way more conversational and way less business-like than he was last year, and that's a good thing, by the way.
100%.
So it was good to hear him talk. Shea, super measured in what he says. He's not really sped up, which I've always appreciated. He's always very exact in what he wants to say. The answer is everybody was impressive because they know how to talk with people, and I know that Russell Westbrook has a lot of love out here, but like you would ask Russell Westbrook a question, first of all, you'd be scared, what list, because if it wasn't good enough, or even if you just didn't like it, then you would, there would be a look like that. But even when he did look at you, he would be like looking past you, and there's just nobody like that on this team, which makes our job really, really easy.
Yeah. Sorry, Alex Caruso just walked by. Got me all distracted there for a second.
I know you got a little warm. You got a little flush.
I was like, that's my hero right there.
So we did at least get one Thunder player on Unadvised.
He wanted to say Hugo. I think that's what he wanted to say, Preston.
I'm not going to lie. My intrusive thoughts really almost kicked in right there. I almost said horns down.
Just because you knew you'd have that in common.
Yeah. Just like give him a little horns down. That my intrusive thoughts really kicked in right there. But around the NBA, Matt, so I was talking with a buddy the other night, and we were talking about the Thunder, and I just keep coming back. It's like, if this team stays healthy, I just don't know who could beat them. I know Denver's improved. Houston just lost Fred VanVleet for the season, more than likely for the season. San Antonio's emerging, but I don't think they're going to be quite there yet to compete with teams like the Thunder. The Clippers right now seem like a total bleep show. We can get into that. So I'm just kind of focusing on Western Conference teams right now. But who around the league? I mean, obviously Denver is probably the clear answer here, but kind of who around the league right now is a threat to the Thunder?
Well, it seems like even pre-Fred VanVleet, people wanted to put Houston in that category. I look at Kevin Durant, who is incredible, right? I mean, like last year in Phoenix, he was being triple teamed. Even sometimes there would be 4 players around him, and he would still just try to make stuff happen. And he's in a better situation now. He can still play, but he also has an injury history. Like there's
he's
no
old.
way,
I mean,
he is. There's no way that it's smart to try to make him play 82 games. They would be wise to manage him. I look at Şengün, who I think is a really good player, but I just don't know if he's a good enough defender to be on a championship team. So I even before the Fred VanVleet injury, I had Houston in below the tier of where the Nuggets are. I still think Jokic is the best player in the world. He's incredible. I came away with so much respect from that 7-game series for him, and they got better in the offseason. I think just about everybody else, and this includes most of the teams in the East too, are reconfiguring and getting their books right for next summer.
Yeah.
So they can try to duck the second apron. And so the Thunder are uniquely in this position where not only did we compete, but there was like not really anything we had to compromise about our team to bring it back this year and still contend. And that's why nobody would trade places with them right now.
One last from me. Speaking of the Eastern Conference, and it might have been you I had this conversation with the other day. I can't remember, but I talked to someone about the Eastern Conference and just looking at those teams, and it doesn't seem to me like there's just one that sticks out in the Eastern Conference. I mean, you have Cleveland, who had a great season last year, was injured down the stretch. Obviously, Boston is going to be missing Jason Tatum. It looks like, even though he's posting all these pictures on social media of him doing basketball
Makes me nervous.
stuff.
If I were a Boston fan, I'd be really nervous about that.
And I think it was you actually that had this conversation with, because you mentioned the Magic as well. Is there a team in the Eastern Conference that you just look at and you're like, okay, yeah, that's the team that sticks out and is, more than likely going to make a run?
Yeah, no, it's just like you got to mention like several teams in the aggregate and be like, okay, probably one of those will do it. But as of right now, the Cavaliers surprised us last year.
Yeah.
I think at this time last year, the Knicks had not yet acquired Karl Anthony Towns, if I remember right. Or it was right after that.
Exactly, yeah.
And so we were still kind of wrapping our heads around that situation. I was low on them. But yeah, obviously Boston taking a step back. Don't sleep on Orlando, though. They're not sexy at all. Nobody likes to talk about the Magic, but Franz Wagner is a way better player than anybody wants to give him credit for. Dude is like 6'11".
Yeah.
Great defender. He's got guard skills for that big of a body, so he's good. Banchero is good. Both those guys dealt with the same weird like oblique injury last year, or bicep something that kept them out for a period of time. And they added Desmond Bane, another guy who is unheralded and nobody likes to talk about, but is a really nice basketball player. So I kind of like Orlando, but I think it's going to be one of those 3 teams: New York, Cleveland, or Orlando in the East.
How's fantasy football going this year?
It's going well. I'm above 500 in all but one league, and I'm in like 6 of them.
What league? Is it the one we're in?
It is.
I haven't checked standings.
One we're in. It's a sports animal.
We're in a battle right now. You have someone playing tonight, and I need them to not do good.
We need Cortland Sutton to score a touchdown.
We don't need that.
I talked to somebody the other day that was like, I don't even know who to root for. That's how I know I'm in fantasy. Too many fantasy teams, and I don't even know who to root for.
Yeah, you've got too many guys on too many teams.
Whenever I was texting you guys before my draft with my college buddies, I was like, I'm in my head with this league. Like, just help me, please, real quick. Going 1-1. I helped you guys with draft strategy. 0-3.
Well, should have asked us.
I gave you terrible
advice.
1-3.
Remember that.
We're 1-3 now. We're 1-3 now.
I am not doing too hot.
So. I have been 0-5 before I made the playoffs. League, so we can.
That's not happening with me.
Don't give up.
Yeah, no, I'm so scared to make trades in this league. Like I am, I am like a beaten kitten in this league.
You're like Ben Simmons.
I've lost my shot. Last year in the sports animal league, I mean, I played you in the championship. I mean, this year I'm going to be 2-2 or 3-1 after this. What you take, you can take that every time. But my college league, they got me in my head. I just can't get past it.
Fantasy is a game that nobody wants to admit is luck based.
Yes, no one
unless you lose.
Yeah.
Well,
and then it's luck based all the time.
And last year and this year, because we do like random like horse simulator races to get the number 1 overall pick. The last 2 years, I've gotten the number 1 overall pick, and my draft strategy with that is not good.
Yeah,
not good.
The lights are the brightest at number 1.
Yeah. You got to nail it. I mean, if you don't nail that pick, you're done for.
All right, that's going to do it for us here at Media Day, Thunder Media Day, that is, thanks to our now new contributor, Matt Ravis.
Capital C, baby.
Fantasy football and Thunder, of course. So that'll do it for us. We'll have a video coming out here in the coming days from everything that we shot here at Media Day. But stick with us. Until then, have a good one.